Imagine Oracle Arena's roar distilled into a single heartbeat. Now imagine it silenced by the weight of what's about to drop as the Golden State Warriors navigate a crucial crossroads in the 2025 NBA draft that could either spark an electrifying new chapter or deepen the shadows of a team searching for elusive frontcourt stability. Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where raw truths collide with splash-era passion. Smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so your heart never misses a beat. Today, the focus is razor-sharp on the Warriors' recent maneuverings. 2 second-round picks, no flashy first-round steals. No guaranteed stars, just calculated gambles at 52nd and 56th overall that whisper a potential but bring more questions than answers. Starting with the 52nd pick, the Warriors pulled the trigger on Alex Tui, an intriguing wing from Australia's Sydney Kings in the NBL, standing 6th even with a game defined more by versatility and smarts than by any run of explosive athleticism. Now, let's strip away the hype no thunderous dunks or jaw-dropping speed here. Toohey plays with solid size, but lacks the physical wow factor Warriors fans crave. His max vertical clocks in at a modest 31 inches, making him no threat above the rim, no chase-down blocker conjured from thin air. Yet, from our resident draft analyst, Nick Roloff's meticulous scouting report, there's undeniable gold beneath the surface. Toohey's defensive grit is relentless, effort-driven, and fundamental, blending with a basketball IQ that commands respect, especially in a Warriors movement offense craving high IQ, low turnover connectors. His passing ability stands out, a cerebral quality in an organization built on ball sharing and precision. Still, the shot mechanics, while smooth, leave much to be desired. 34% from three in a defensively punishing Australian league that demands physicality and toughness doesn't scream sniper for Dub Nation. Kevin O'Connor of Yahoo Sports put it plainly, Toohey is a jack of all trades, known to grind on defense and facilitate playmaking. But his scoring is inconsistent, shackled to that freaky jumper that fails to generate his own looks reliably. That's a major snag for a Warriors team hurt by shooting droughts and lacking standout perimeter shooters off the bench. If you're comparing him to Josh Hart, a name tossed around due to passing and defensive hustle, beware the parallels falter quick. Hart's rebounding and physicality aren't mirrored here since Toohey struggles on the boards, one of his glaring weaknesses. Dub Nation needs production, especially in those 3-and-D roles, not just effortful understudies. And that brings US to a brutal reality check. Is Toohey doomed to the dreaded logjam minutes cave? Stuck behind G. Santos, another Swiss Army knife wing who offers effort but never bursts onto the scene. At 21, soon turning 22, as an international prospect, Toohey walks a tightrope between opportunity and obscurity, his age perhaps a whisper away from being too old. For a developmental project, this isn't the Zaza Pachulia of opportunity. Years here. So, what to make of this 52nd pick? Our harsh, unvarnished grade lands at a disappointing D+, reflecting Warriors brass seemingly passing on a specialist shooter for a landslide of good but not great. Traits a gamble that may never pay off in a rotation starved for immediate impact players. Now, before we pivot to the second pick, let's talk some front office chess. Golden State traded the 41st overall pick to Phoenix, splintering one asset into 2 late second-round shot-smart diversification, or spreading thin what could have been one real quality player. That's the question swirling like a tempest across the bay. Enter the 56th pick, Will Richard, a 6'4" wing out of defense-centric Florida Gators pedigree, the team that just claimed the national championship with an ironclad defense. Sporting a 6'9" wingspan, Richard profiles as a perimeter pest who can lock down opponents and, crucially for Warriors' needs, carry a solid if unspectacular 36% three-point stroke. Not eye-popping numbers, but serviceable, especially for a player grounded in fundamentally sound shooting. Mechanics that connect both off the catch and on the move, a subtle but critical distinction in a league where efficient volume shooting is king. Richard's biggest weapon may be his defense blending length, discipline, and technique in a Warriors-style system that prizes switchability and tenacity. The downside? No flashy play creation, subpar athleticism, limited passing. Chops. He's not a creator but a reliable role player. The kind who could take the torch from a Moses Moody or step into G. Santos' shoes eventually if circumstances align. This isn't a first-round star, but his profile reminds one slightly of Keem Ellis or KCP archetypes knockdown shooters married to tough perimeter defense, fighting to carve out a role in a crowded backcourt. The comparisons are anywhere from Contavious Caldwell-Pope to Drew Smith. Names solid, but far from luminaries players whose NBA casting could oscillate between rotation stalwart or fringe roster filler. And here's an undercurrent worth noting. Warriors letting Kobe Breeze slip past at 41. A player many fans felt closer to the mold of a two-way sharpshooter with upside. Felt like a missed opportunity that lingers as a what-if in this draft tale, especially since Richard, while commendable, doesn't set the same ceiling. That said, as the 56th pick, Richard earns a respectable B grade, acknowledging the Warriors' eye for a player with room to grow and a skill set that aligns with their defensive identity and shooting needs, even if the splash isn't going to shake the league right away. This youth infusion of two wings Alex Tui from Australia's tough NBL, marked by gritty facilitation, and Will Richard from Florida, a shooter and defender with a savvy feel for structured basketball, completes a draft haul that on paper looks like a cautious step, a bit of a hedge against risk, but one that conspicuously skirts the glaring frontcourt holes that echo from last season's playoff frustrations and injury woes. There was no addressing the soft underbelly of the roster's big man crisis. No impact inside presence drafted to challenge or replace the departed veterans or shore up that interior defense. Instead, the Warriors opted for role player potential. Wings, hoping this small ball-focused duo can plug gaps, earn minutes, and flourish within the movement offense that Curry, Thompson, and Green have made a world beater. But can 2 second-round, mostly unknown draft choices reshape a team chasing a fourth title in this hyper-competitive Western Conference? Could this be the silent pivot that eclipses even the KD era's seismic shakes? Dub Nation remembers the we believe magic of unlikely heroes upending giants, the dynasty's apex glory, and the heartbreak of playoff ghosts past. So every pick carries weight beyond pure stats. These selections may lack the star or a bud. Could the Warriors have uncovered the blueprint to manufacture another era of collective brilliance? Or do these wings destined for rotation limbo hint instead at the franchise's plateau, struggling to find next-level talent in a draft class skewed toward defensive hustle and mid-range shooting? As a lifelong Dub Nation believer, my pulse is racing just writing this, dissecting every nuance, every whisper of possibility and disappointment wrapped in these draft choices, the grades, the scouting reports, the age questions, the defensive promises, the old missed chances, the front office gambles. But is this the spark that reignites our dynasty or the crack that fractures our legacy? Drop your unfiltered takes in the comments. I'll be right there, heart in hand. If your heart's thumping right now, pounding like the Oracle crowd at Steph's buzzer beater moments, then light up those comments because we need the real talk. Where is this ship headed? And is there a storm brewing or the calm before a blistering comeback? Look, I get it. 2 late second-round picks with modest upside, wings with defensive hustle, but limited star wattage. This isn't the blueprint of a championship juggernaut at first glance. This feels like the Warriors' front office flinching, still haunted by the ghosts of the depleted front line, not willing or able to gamble big on a game-changing big man who could wrestle the paint and anchor the defense to something terrifying. It's almost ironic that after years riding the splash and that near-mythical Warriors motion offense, the brass has veered back toward a tried-and-true culture of grinders, defensive role players, and peripheral ball movers who have to really scratch and claw for minutes behind an aging tripod of Curry, Thompson, and Green. But that lineup's durability is a razor's edge. We know Curry still got that jetty-level skill set, yet the mileage and nagging injuries aren't. Fairy tales you can ignore. Thompson's still capable of blistering threes and legendary comebacks, but his knees and consistency keep setting alarms off in Dub Nation. Draymond is the heart, but his evolving role, on-court discipline, and aging body are wild cards every single game. Meanwhile, Kuminga and Moody, once heralded as next-gen's hope, have skated into a fog of show us more still too erratic, still figuring out how to live up to the franchise's sky-high standards. And you can't forget Poole his. Electric moments light up highlights, but postseason inconsistencies loom large like a shadow over any real charge back to the finals. The Western Conference, meanwhile, is a ruthless beast snarling harder than ever. With the Suns and Nuggets skulked in elite rosters, the Lakers' young core shaking off last year's heartbreak, OKC's fiery youth uprising, and the Mavericks doubling down on Luka's brilliance. The Warriors are no longer the unchallenged gods of the West, and this draft haul, these subtle ripples of second-round wing prospects smack of a franchise saying, "We'll hold the fort while the big picture develops elsewhere." But what if that's exactly the play? What if the brass is quietly banking on Toohey and Richard, becoming those under-the-radar glue guys masters of the subtle game? Defenders who can stymie top-tier wings, shooters who can shoot without hogging the rock, that over time might morph. A ragtag supporting cast into a league-wide nightmare within Kerr's evolving system? Kerr, the chess master, has reinvented offense before. His ability to stretch bigs, funnel spacing, and unleash Curry's gravity at unprecedented levels reshape NBA offenses. Could he now be prepping for a quieter revolution, less splash, more grind? Still, at what risk? There's a very real danger these two picks become what every best-case second-round dream fears. Funk-filled yearlings lost in the shuffle of a crammed lineup, backups playing catch-up, never breaking through before. The Warriors' window shutters again. Imagine the locker room dynamics if the perimeter depth chart explodes with promise, but the glaring interior needs grow desperate. Draymond's patented fire might turn inward if he senses stalled retreads instead of next-level stars, and the tension could sap that unique chemistry, the same chemistry that turned Curry and Clay's dynamic pick-and-roll into a generational marvel. What if this is the beginning of the end, not the rebound? The Warriors' legacy has always balanced precariously between revolutionary ball movement and the individual brilliance of that dynasty core. Missing out on a big man, this draft echoes painfully in the playoff battles past. Remember those crunch-time paint mismatches? Those rim-rattling thunder dunks carved over an undersized front court? That vulnerability exposed in OKC's clutch runs, and Denver's relentless inside play isn't a shadow you just flick away. And as if that weren't enough, the team traded down from 41, perhaps passing on higher-ceiling talent locked in the hands of others, all for these role-player prospects. Maybe front office whispers hint at a bigger plan, a convincing trade, or signing on the horizon to plug that inside gap, but nothing's concrete yet. The emotional fatigue of Dub Nation is real. After riding the highest of highs and gutting through historic lows, there's a hunger for a definitive statement, a "we're back" that shakes the league's foundation. This draft haul is not that statement. It's a whisper amidst the storm. Yet, there's something so quintessentially Warriors about this moment, a franchise that built dynasties from unexpected heroes, from underappreciated role players who became legends in their own right. The echoes of "we believe" are here, the hopes for unexpected breakthroughs that shatter projections. Could Tui surprise us all with that steely basketball IQ mastery? Could Richard's defensive tenacity ignite the kind of spark that builds a championship culture from the ground up? But here's the core question none of us can dodge. Are we watching the scaffolding of a new dynasty or the last crack in the foundation of one we've loved for over a decade? Could Kerr's system evolve again, shaped by these new pieces, pushing Golden State back into the spotlight as savvy, defensive, sharpshooting mavens of the modern game? Or will we look back at these picks as the final cautionary tale of a great Run coming to quiet closure, the diminishing returns of an aging legend shadow? As a warrior at heart who lived through Baron's raw tenacity in '07, who cheered for each splash of glory in the dynasty's apex, and who stood weeping through Clay's grueling comeback saga, this moment, raw and uncertain, fires up a deep, restless hope inside me. There's a hunger in Dub Nation that can't be extinguished by pragmatism alone. We crave that miracle, that unexpected surge of greatness born from grit, heart, and that unmistakable warrior's ethos. This draft might not have gifted us a star, but it seeded the possibility of a different kind of brilliance, one that only time and ferocious resolve can unearth. Now it's your turn to spit truth in the comments. What do you feel tearing through your soul? Fire, doubt, restless hope, or bitter resignation? No filters, no sugarcoating. I'll be in the trenches with you. Every raw, unfiltered take matters, because this is our saga. This is Warriors basketball. This is Dub Nation, breathing and bleeding every moment with us.